We've been pushing for hashtag force to vote Medicare for all. You know what that is. That's the progressives withhold their vote from Nancy Pelosi for speaker because they have the power now. They only have like a 5-seat majority. So 5 progressives could tell Nancy Pelosi, you bring Medicare for all for a vote or we don't vote for you and you lose your speakership and we get another speaker. It's another Democrat. It's not going to be a Republican. So that's what we're pushing. And so I've been pushing that, and I've been getting attacked by everybody, like super attacked by everybody, including people who take $20 million from Hillary Clinton donors and then tell you now's not the time to push for Medicare for all. And then send you an email asking you for money. Not to help get you health care, but to help who knows what. Where's that money going? They're not independent media. They take $20 million. Where's that money going? So here, and if you advocate for Medicare for all, they'll come at you. Corporatists will come at you. People who take Clinton donor money will come at you. Crystal Ball is going to tell you right now, well, if you want to advocate for Medicare for all, what do you got to be ready for?
They're going to roll out all of the propaganda. So you have to be willing to be hated nationally by the media, by the people that are your colleagues in the House. That's a hard thing to stomach. But you know what? Like, if you thought you signed up for an easy job and you can just like show up and cast your votes the easy way and get off scot-free, like, I don't know what you're doing there. Jimmy Dore actually said something that I thought was really, really well stated, which is that the greatest abuse of power is not using the power that you have.
That's totally true. Yeah.
And so with Cori Bush's election, Jamal Bowman, like there are a few real, Mondaire Jones, a few real, shining progressive wins this year. And now the question is, okay, you got the power. What are you going to do with it?
I did not know pushing this obvious thing, this good idea, which is why people are pushing back against it so hard, because it's an obvious good idea. If it was a bad idea, they would laugh it off and ignore it. It's a great idea, which is why you see AOC coming up with another bullshit reason why it won't work every day, and Cenk Uygur doing the same thing, because it's a great idea. And it's sad to see people come at me instead of pushing Medicare for all because they are jealous of me or angry at me or don't like me or have a beef with me. It's not about me. Here's what she says.
They're going to roll out all of the propaganda. So you have to be willing to be hated nationally by the media, by the people that are your colleagues in the House. That's a hard thing to stomach. But you know what? Like, if you thought you signed up for an easy job and you can just like show up and cast your votes the easy way and get off scot-free, like, I don't know what you're doing there. Jimmy Dore actually said something that I thought was really, really well stated, which is that the greatest abuse of power is not using the power that you have.
That's totally true. Yeah.
And so with Cori Bush's election, Jamal Bowman, like there are a few real, Mondaire Jones, a few real, shining progressive wins this year. And now the question is, okay, you got the power. What are you going to do with it?
Well, here's what AOC said she was going to do with the power. Here's what she said she was going to do with it. This is stunning. Get ready for this.
Don't people realize that the most powerful position you can be in is when you are not materially attached to a position of power? If you're a one-term Congress member, so what? You can make 10 years worth of change in one term if you're not afraid.
Cenk, did you hear that? If you're not afraid. You can make 10 years of progress in 1 year if you're not afraid. I'm going to play that again.
Don't people realize that the most powerful position you can be in is when you are not materially attached to a position of power? If you're a one-term Congress member, so what? You can make 10 years worth of change in one term if you're not afraid.
So a lot of people saying that, oh, we can't ask her to do this because she would be committing career suicide. No, the people who commit career suicide are the people who don't cross Nancy Pelosi, like AOC. If you don't cross her, people aren't going to vote for you again. And if you don't cross her, she's going to kick you off the committee. Kathleen Rice did. She voted to not. She wasn't going to vote for Nancy Pelosi, and she got the spot on the committee. AOC got kicked off. That's how politics works. Politics doesn't work by being nice. What are you, Canadian? One major difference between the GOP, this is unbelievable that she tweeted this out. She tweeted this out yesterday or today. One major difference between the GOP and the Dems is that the GOP leverages their right flank to gain policy concessions and generate enthusiasm, while the Democrats lock their left flank in the basement because they think that will make Republicans be nicer to them. Here's the thing, AOC. We need you to pick up that set of keys that's on the ground and unlock the basement door. Unlock your basement door. So you refuse to vote for Pelosi and demand a vote for Medicare for all then?
Nice, Dr. Fishbones.
There's the key. Hey, there's the key to get you out of to unlock that basement door. There it is. There's the key. There it is. I'd argue corporate Democrats do that because they like what Republicans want to do more than they like what social justice advocates want to do. Either way, they'll continue to do it until they believe it will have real consequences for them. God damn it, Ben, that's correct. So you're in the basement, and they're going to keep doing that to you, Ben points out, until they have to experience real consequences for doing that. And a real consequence for doing that is you band together with your other progressives and you take the speakership away from someone. Or you demand something. Or you just stay in the basement, which is where AOC's glad to be in the basement with her 10 million followers, her super duper celebrity, her $100,000 speaking fees. So what he's saying, in other words, the Democratic Party as a party would rather work with Republicans than work with you, AOC. And that's not going to change no matter how nice you are. So form a Tea Party. So she's complaining that they're stuck in the basement, that the Democratic establishment puts the left in the basement and locks the door, right? So this guy says, well, so form a Tea Party style left faction in Congress and do what they did. Take over the party. Stop removing your own agency and take the risk. Please, we need you to do it. Our very survival is on the line. There you go. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to say, stop being mean to AOC.
Yeah.
If you were honestly thinking of leaving politics, you'd seriously have nothing to lose. Go scorched earth, AOC, but she's not thinking of leaving politics. She doesn't. She wants to have more terms. She doesn't want, nothing she said was real when she was running. It's not real. And this is revealing it. I know it hurts a lot of people's feelings. You want to have someone you can hold on to, right? So every time I show a video of AOC talking, she's agreeing with what we're saying. Every video I've shown you for the last week and a half of AOC talking about this stuff, she's agreeing with what we're saying to do right now. But somehow, we're the ones being unreasonable. I'm repeating her words, and we're the ones being unreasonable. Ryan Knight says to AOC, hey, wait, so you agree with us, AOC? Because we are asking you to leverage the left flank and join our movement to force the vote on Medicare for all. She's agreed with us a number of times on video, yes. Yes, she does agree with us. But she just won't do it. Danny Haifong says to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, he says, you and your supporters are that left flank. How is saying this and then opposing your constituents' push for a Medicare for all vote not gaslighting? If you are opposed to force the vote and say that the Dems lock you in the basement, then it seems like you're choosing the comforts of the basement. That's exactly what she's doing. They can't expect more from you if you stay in the basement. LOL. right? They can't expect more from you if you're, I'm just in the basement. I can't do anything. Hey, I'm just in my garage in Pasadena. I can't do anything except we can launch a pressure campaign that everybody finds out about it to get us Medicare for all. You're in the basement. You have the key. The key to get out of that basement, AOC, is to withhold your vote from Nancy Pelosi. But you are bending yourself in a pretzel every which way to not do this, just like Cenk Uygur is. After you take $20 million in Clinton donor cash, you lose the willingness to fight because you need another round of funding. So now you're actually made life harder for organizers because if you suspect, so this is she's saying, because we're pushing for Medicare for all, she's saying that we're making it harder. So fighting for things makes it harder to get them. This is amazing. This is amazing. Do they all go to a Narrowtandon workshop to get these fucking talking points about why you can't have healthcare in the middle of a pandemic in the richest country in the world? Here's what she says. So now you've actually made life harder for organizers because if you suspect a co-sponsor isn't a genuine supporter, you now just gave them a chance to cover when stakes are low. So now they can ward off pressure. Pay attention. Actual Medicare for all grassroots organizers haven't pushed for this.
They didn't come up with the idea.
Could I just ask AOC, what constitutes a Medicare for all grassroots organizer, by the way? Is there a badge that you can get? Is there some kind of committee that signs off on you being an actual grassroots organizer? What are the parameters, AOC? So what she's saying is Jimmy Dore is not allowed to push for this because he's not approved.
Who approves them?
That's what I'm asking. Where's there a badge? Is there a committee? Is it the DCCC? Is it Nancy Pelosi? Who decides if I'm a good enough grassroots organizer so that I can petition my government for something? I thought anybody could do that. I'm not a grassroots organizer. What do you call this campaign? I'm not allowed to advocate for Medicare for all. AOC is telling me I'm not allowed to advocate for Medicare for all. There's only certain approved people who are. I'm going to tell you why I'm allowed to advocate for Medicare for all. Because I got sick a few years ago. And I got sick in a way that was hard to diagnose. They didn't know what it was. And they would say, hey, it's this. And they'd give me a treatment. And six weeks would go by and I'd get sicker. And then 6 more weeks would go, they'd go, oh, it's this. And then they'd give me a treatment and I'd get sicker. And then months would go by and they would go, oh, no, it's something else. And they would order all these tests and all these stuff. And the insurance company wouldn't pay. And then a year went by and they still kept misdiagnosing me. And the insurance company still wouldn't pay. And then I had to walk in the doctor's office and get denied service because, my credit card was packed and I owed them money already. I didn't have any more room on my card. I had to limp into an office dying, hunched over, dying, on fistfuls of Vicodin. I had to set my alarm. If I had to get up, I had to set my alarm a half hour early so I could take a fistful of Vicodins just so I could get out of bed. Just so I could get out of bed. I couldn't even roll over in bed. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't roll over. Why? Well, another year went by of illness with them misdiagnosing. And they said, you know who you should see? You should see this guy, Dr. Sharp. Dr. Charles Sharp. They go, he's the best guy. So I called him. They didn't take my insurance. So I couldn't go see him because I didn't have any money at all at that time. By that point, after 2 years of this. So I went to one of his students. I went to Dr. Sharp's students. I thought that would work. I got sicker. Then one day I stepped off a step the wrong way. And my spine collapsed. Literally. I went from being 5'10" to being 5'7", like that. Like that. One step. Boom. My entire spine collapsed. So then I said, hey, maybe, I don't know how we're going to do it, but let's find a way to go see Dr. Sharp. At that time, I had dead bone in my hip and my thigh. And I was now 3 inches shorter. And I had a spine collapse and a scoliosis. So now my spine goes this way and it's compressed. And I still had to go try to get treatment. They still hadn't figured out what was wrong with me. And I was bankrupt. We didn't have any more money. So we had to take out loans, take out second mortgages, drained all our savings, credit cards, the whole deal. And finally got enough money. We went to see Dr. Sharp, and Dr. Sharp figured out what was wrong with me in one visit. So for 3 years, I was limping around Hollywood. And it was right at the time when my career was supposed to be taking off. I had gotten my first Comedy Central special. People started to know who I was. I was on TV a lot. And then all of a sudden, I got sick. Then all of a sudden, every time I walked on stage, I was limping. I was hungover. I was hunched over. Every time I went into a business meeting, I was in so much pain. And so when I got to see Dr. Sharp, he said, "Know where you go. Will anyone know what this is?" I said, "Well, how do you know what this is?" He said, "I saw it once before in 1968. It's called hypophosphatemic osteomalacia." And so I had dead bone in my thigh and hip, and he sent me to this doctor who invented the Bo Jackson surgery. So I was supposed to get the Bo Jackson surgery. They're going to take, I'll never forget, I walked into the guy's office. Just like Dr. Sharp said, I walk in to his office. He's sitting at his desk in his office, and he's reading my chart before I even meet him. And he has an accent, and he doesn't even look up. I walk in, I said hello, and he goes, "What? I've only seen this in books." And I said, "Yeah, I know. I know." So what they were going to do was take bone out of my shin, and then they were going to put it in my thigh, and then I couldn't step on my leg for 6 months straight, if it worked. Which I didn't have money for. And I said, well, luckily I just got I was just notified I got an hour special on Comedy Central in the middle of me dying. And I said, so the only reason I haven't killed myself already is because I have to do this Comedy Central special. And then when I do it, I'll kill myself. But I have to do this hour special. And the doctor said, "You mean you don't want to get that operation right now?" And I said, "I can't get it. I have an hour special in 6 months. I have to go get prepared, get ready for it." And he said, "Your thigh could snap at any moment." And I said, "I guess that's the chance I got to take." In the meantime, they tried to find the tumor that was causing all this. Anyway, there's way more to this story. But I know what it's like to be bankrupted for years and years. And I know what it's like to be humiliated because you don't have money to pay and you're dying. You don't even really want to get better because what the fuck? You have to fight the urge to kill yourself every day. I know what it's like. So if I could just respectfully request the AOC if she would grant me the privilege of being able to advocate for Medicare for all as a citizen. I mean, I know I'm not an approved grassroots organizer, but I am an American citizen who went bankrupt because of medical bills. In that same time, I had about, 24 root canals. Had to get them redone. Guess who has to pay for that? That comes right out of your pocket. Nope, no dental insurance pays for that. I had about 24 root canals. Not exaggerating.
And it's connected to the illness.
And it's connected. Of course, it's all connected. I had to get them redone. I had to go to an endodontist. Well, who comes up with that? That's $2,400. That's $3,200 a pop. Just for my teeth. Just for my teeth. Anyway. So I hope I don't know if Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez has ever been in that kind of a situation where she's ill. If she's ever had a huge illness and if she's ever went bankrupt from it. If she's ever had to go to doctor's offices for 3-4 years straight trying to get better while she's broke. I don't know if she has that experience. But if she did, I would let her be the one to advocate for it. I would request the same courtesy. So now there's certain people are able to redress the government that they have certain special privileges than other Americans. This is garbage. This is a healthy, young, rich person who's running on celebrity and now trying to find a way not to do what she said she was going to do, which is fight for you for Medicare for all. She's finding a million different ways to do it. So I hope that would be okay with the AOC if I advocated for Medicare for all. Is that okay? Kyle Kalinske says you should only be ashamed to take on a fight if you don't agree with the substance of that fight. Everybody on the left agrees Medicare for all is necessary. Stop rationalizing the status quo and waiting for a better season, which 100% will not come. If you don't force a Medicare for all vote now, when are you going to? They'll never answer that question. I heard some people say in 15 years. With a straight face. I heard people say that with a straight face.
They are the adults in the room.
They're the adults in the room who grew up in cul-de-sacs and have health care. Never worked a day in their life. 70% of the country supports Medicare for all. There is a pandemic with nearly 300,000 dead. Tens of millions have no insurance or are underinsured, and elites have successfully convinced elected leftists it's a bad strategy or some shit to vote on universal health care. Kill me. Wow. 70% of the country supports Medicare for all. There's a pandemic with nearly 300,000 dead. Tens of millions have no insurance or are underinsured, and elites have successfully convinced elected leftists it's a bad strategy or some shit to vote on universal health care. Kyle Kalinske is doing more to forward this hashtag force the vote than anybody. Him and Crystal Ball are being amazing. Amazing. I mean, there's lots of people helping, but here's another one. Brianna Joy Gray's helping.
Yes.
Me, an intellectual observing organic movement energy. No. Don't you know that's not how movements are done? So she's responding to AOC saying that I'm not an approved grassroots organizer. And she's responding saying, no. Don't you know that's not how movements are done? There's a different way.
What?
By the way, so the people who keep saying this is not the right time, when do you think this would be a good time? So this is a cartoon from 1951, And the people are coming to Congress and they're asking for health care, housing, and education. And this guy says, don't you know there's an arms program going on? Don't you know there's a war on? Haven't you heard about inflation? Haven't you heard about deflation? And they're saying, when do you think it would be a good time? This is from 1951. So when you hear Cenk Uygur say this is a bad time, and you hear AOC say this is not the right time, you show them this cartoon from 1951, and then you ask them how good is their health insurance. That's what you do. That's what you do when those people say that garbage. Because this is the time. This is the come to Jesus moment. You're either with us or against us. Which side are you on? Are you on the side of the people, or are you on the side of the obfuscating oligarchs? Which side are you on? Cenk Uygur would tell Rosa Parks, just move up one row and then let's see. This isn't the time. We don't have the votes. Here's AOC. This is from November of this year. This is not long ago.
Democratic Party does not do more unless it is pushed. So we need to push them. And they don't like it. I think I annoy them, but but that is our job.
Is it okay if I annoy you? Is that okay? Is that okay? When you're not doing what you're supposed to? She says her job is to annoy people. That's what she's just said. Watch.
But that is our job. That's our job. Force it to happen. Do not trust any political party to automatically work in your interest.
I call on everybody in independent media to join this mission.
Force it to happen.
Force the Congress to show which side are they really on. No vote for Nancy Pelosi unless Medicare for all is put on the House floor for a vote.
Start bringing the ruckus on the Democratic Party.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing exactly what AOC said to do. And you watch people bend themselves into pretzels to try to derail this moment. And remember who they are, because I am. Remember who they are. People are revealing themselves all over the place. This is an amazing moment. This is a great moment for the left. This is a great moment for the left. People are figuring out, oh, we're going to have to fight, huh? Yeah. You're going to have to fight if you want health care. And the only people who tell me not to fight are people who already have health care or are Canadian because they already have health care in Canada. Those are the only people who are telling me to be nicer. You know who's not telling me to be nicer? Cornel West, Dylan Ratigan, people without health care, people who lost their jobs. Those are the people who are about to be evicted. Those are the people who don't want me to talk softer. You know who wants me to talk softer? People who are comfortable, people who have health care, people who live in Canada. That's who wants me to be quiet. You know, they said the same shit about Bernie. They used to say the same shit about Cenk Uygur when he was actually sometimes opposing the establishment. They don't say that shit about him anymore. Hey, everybody, this is the part where I tell you where all our live shows are, but there aren't any. And then this is why I tell you to join our premium program and get extra content, but nobody's got a fucking job. So just enjoy the video.